Today, I'm going to show you how to sample synths into the Deluge.
Freebie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Freebeat, where I post new music-related content every single day, so if that sounds good to you, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Today's patron shout-out goes to Andrew Apanov. Thank you so very much for the support. Let's get started. So today I'm going to show you how to take an external synthesizer, such as this P035 Speak here, sample it into the Synthstrom Deluge, and then use that sample as a proper synth within the Deluge on your tracks. For some reason, I could not find a short and to the point tutorial on this on YouTube, so that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to sample the P035 Speak here, where I actually just have a very basic synth sound on here, just for the sake of simplicity. I'm going to take the output of this synthesizer and plug it into the line in on the back of the Deluge, okay? That's what you got to do if you want to sample. Okay, so now on the Deluge, we're going to make sure we're on a blank clip, okay? Then we're going to hold Shift and press Synth to load in a brand new blank synth preset. Then what we're going to do is hold any of these audition pads and press the load button. Okay, now it's going to say bottom to top, and the browse button is going to be flashing over here. What it wants us to do right now is click this browse button and then look for a sample to use, but we're not going to do that. We're going to record our own, okay? So the way we do that is we're going to hold Shift and then press the record button. And then it's going to start recording. We're going to play our sample. Then when we're done, we're going to press the record button. Okay, so here we go. Shift, record. It's now recording. Okay, there we go. It recorded. I pressed record when I was done, okay? So now it's going to take us right back to the blank preset screen. We're going to hold Shift and click Waveform. That's going to let us see our waveform. Now we can use any of the audition pads here to play our sound. We can see that there were a few seconds of complete silence while we were picking up the speak to sample it. By the way, we can completely unplug that now. So we can hear that's pretty loud. Now right out of the gate, we can use any of the normal sound shaping options. So I'm going to go level and turn it down. Much better. Okay, so how do we edit this waveform so we get rid of these sounds of silence in the beginning? Well, we can see this green flashing line. This represents the start point of the sample. To move it, make sure it's flashing, and then simply move it to where you want it to start. So I can see the waveform starts right there. Now we can hear there's still a little bit of silence at the beginning before it actually kicks in. So we could just move the start point over here, or we can go back to this one, click in this knob right here and turn it to zoom in. There we can see there's some more hidden silence there once we increase the resolution. Let's move it to right here. Perfect. We can zoom back out now. To adjust the end point, it's the exact same thing, but first we have to click on the end of the sample, this red line. Now it's flashing. Now we can move it to where we want. Let's end it right here. We can hear it completely cuts off, okay? Cool. So we can hear, once it gets to the end, it just completely shuts off, right? It stops playing. We can change that so it loops instead, meaning that when it reaches the end, it will go back to the beginning. To do that, we're going to hold Shift and we're going to go down here to the bottom left corner where it says Sample 1 and Mode. Okay, if we click that in, we can use our knob here to go to Loop. Let's go ahead and select that. Okay, Shift, Waveform, back to the Waveform viewer. Let's hold down an audition pad and see what happens. As you can see and hear, when it gets to the end, it resets. Now, there is an audible click when it does that, though, so we want to get rid of that. That's where loop points come in. We can actually tell the sample where to reset to once it gets to the end, or once it gets to our custom loop point. We can set a custom in and out for our loop. It's really, really easy. This is how we do it. Hold down on the start line, okay? And as we're holding that down, anywhere you want the loop point to start, go ahead and click. So there we go. We're going to press right here. We see this blue line. That is our new loop point. Hopefully that's showing up on camera okay. I'm going to try to turn down the brightness of the pads a little. That might help. There, maybe. You can kind of see this blue line flashing right here. To set the end point, it's the same exact thing, but we do it with the end. So we hold the end and then put our custom loop point where we want it. How about right here? And that's a purple line flashing. Let's go ahead and hold an audition pad and see what happens. See how it loops between those? Now there's still an audible click there. So what we want to do now is actually zoom in and play around with this custom loop endpoint to get to a point where we don't hear an audible click. So I'm going to try it right here. Better. Getting better. Worse. I'm going to go back here where it was best, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and keep moving it. Nope, worse. There we go, that's pretty good. I'm sure there's some sort of algorithm to figure out where the best point is, but I don't know it. I just play around with it until I figure out what sounds best without clicking. There we go. So it's going to loop between those, that's kind of our sustain point, until we release the pad, and then if we actually do have some release on here, which we can add right now, it'll play through to the end of the sample. There we go. And yeah, that's basically it. We can now hit back to go back to the synth preset, and we can start playing our sample. Yeah, how cool is that? From here, it's just like any other synthesizer on the Deluge. Some reverb in there. We can even, you know, go into the LFO and assign it to our filter frequency. So let's go ahead and do that. We can set the depth here. Okay, then we can go and set the rate of the LFO. Bring down the resonance a bit. We can go to the isomorphic keyboard view and play with it right there. And if we want to properly save everything, save this synth into its own named slot, just hold Synth, press Save, and now we can type its name. So we'll call this, yes. There we go. Press Save, and it saved it. So now we can see the name of this synth is Yes. Here's one I did earlier, just called Speak, to kind of, you know, get the main gist of everything. You'll notice that one's monophonic. Against this one, the way to do that, just Shift, click Polyphony right here, select mono, there you go. We can get rid of the release. I forgot we were monophonic. There we go. So that's how you take an external synth and sample it into the Deluge to use as a proper instrument. Hopefully you found this video helpful or at least entertaining. If you did, be sure to leave a like on it. If not, you can always leave a dislike. That's okay too. Doesn't hurt my feelings, just makes me try that much harder next time. Either way, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. Thank you all so very much for being here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.